The Chick-fil-A Bowl definitely stands out as one. Obviously, being pregame and halftime on that incredible field, and the fact that we still got to bust out of tunnels, that was incredible. Just stopping before we got up into the stands and looking around and seeing that sheer quantity of people. But also, the little back and forths between us and the Auburn band in the stands. Even when the game was very clearly decided, we knew what the outcome would be, but we were having the time of our lives. And then, we walk out, loading up the truck, and the clock strikes midnight, and it's New Year's Eve, right? So everyone just puts down what they're doing, get in a circle, and sing the good old song. That was pretty incredible. Other than that, I'm really gonna miss the DoubleTree, which I don't know. If you ask me at the end of every band camp, I don't know that I would give that answer. But band camp is a uniquely incredible experience, and I would bet that it's probably more so here than maybe at other schools. I don't have the knowledge to back that up, but just being around so many dedicated and motivated and fun individuals doing something that we all just genuinely love to do with no schoolwork to worry about, and then all the shenanigans that go on at night, all the events and skits and Olympics. I really enjoyed every single one of those, particularly second year in the Saxes one. And there was a particular a cappella rendition of I Want It That Way, where Doug Henderson just blew the roof off the place. That was incredible. Every skit is just hilarious in its own right. So skit night is really enjoyable for me. I really enjoy the first full band rehearsal at band camp, and I think that was the first time that it hit me. And every time that we had that after my first year, I remembered back to my first year, that first rehearsal when we added drumline in the back, and the full weight of the sound of 300 people. My band in high school was big, and it was a pretty good band, but it was nothing compared to what we have here. And I still remember the goosebumps and the hair standing on end. The first time we rehearsed the boy band show, hands down, that was my child. I pushed for that with the help of many other people. I pushed for that since I got here. Every leadership application, every discussion, I tried to push it. And it was a very gratifying moment when Dr. Bees came up to me and said, "You know what? I think that was one of the top 5 shows we've ever done." I could not have loved a show anymore. So I conducted the 2 Backstreet Boys tunes on the away side. And I remember at one point the key change in I Want It That Way, I physically jumped off the podium, and I didn't remember how I was going to land. So the heart was in my throat for a second, and then I came back down and finished off the rest of the song. But that was a blast. Robin Hood, too, I really enjoyed. I somehow got a hold of a James Madison recording of Robin Hood in high school and had been dying to play it, and so the minute we pulled it up, I lost it. The Robin Hood drill was actually on point. You made the 2 bows and arrows, and the arrows shot and met at the center. I really enjoyed that. And any show with stick figures was, it's really funny when you see all the stick figure shows of other bands go viral. We realize that we probably did it first. I also, as much as it pains me to say from the cardio, the first Virginia spell out, the cursive, running, we calculated out as 3 miles or something ridiculous. But I remember we hit that set, and the crowd went nuts. And I hadn't, again, coming from a high school band where people enjoy the show, but it's not the end all and be all of their football experience. That was really cool to hit a set and to know that the people are picking up exactly what you're trying to form, and they really genuinely enjoy it. The Miami win, I guess it was 2 years ago, my 3rd year. think it was like 41-40 or a 1-point game. Jake McGee had the crazy catch in the end zone. And I remember it particularly well because it was band day. And so I was pretty sure we were out of the game for a while, and I was up with the high school band kids in the second tier towards the end of the game. And it was getting closer and closer, and we were leading the drive to possibly win the game. And I had to escort them down starting at, the 10-minute mark or whatever. And so I hurriedly tried to shoo them on so that I could get down to the band to watch the final play, and I got there just in time to see that touchdown and to see, the crowd goes nuts. I think there were 3 games where people rushed the field. And so obviously there were times where athletics didn't want us to play for them. But just being a part of that was a ton of fun, and it's a really electric atmosphere. They're fantastic. I think for each one of them, being drum major put me in a whole new situation with them that I had definitely not been in before, and exposed me to a lot more time and a lot of perhaps more stressful situations. But we really got to know each other through all of that, which was really cool. So I guess one by one, so Dr. Pease and I get along really well. And I don't know what it is, but and I think he's like this with a lot of people. He just wants to know who you are. He wants to know about you, and he wants to be the best band director and almost dad, if you will, throughout your experience, and just help you in whatever way he can. At times that was band related, at times that was not. Definitely spent significant time trying to set me up with different people in band, which I think is very true of a lot of other people too, which he really enjoys. I think he definitely enjoys. But Dr. Pease was one of those people that you can have a really, really stressful day, particularly in the last 2 years, where things just didn't go right, or you made a very blatant mistake that you didn't recover from well, perhaps. And in the heat of the moment, he would tell you about it. He would let you know, and that's really good. It's good to not have those things sugar-coated, especially when a substantial portion of the band perhaps maybe took the fall for something that you failed to do. It's good to realize the full weight of that. But hours later, you could go to him and realize that everything was all right, and he didn't hate you. And he was very quick to open that back up, and to be available to sit down and say, all right, how can we fix this? How can we make sure this doesn't happen again? And I really admire that. I think it's probably pretty hard, because a lot of the stupid things that I did and that we do probably cause him a lot of stress. But to be able to forgive and forget and move on, I really appreciated that. Dr. Cook, it was really fun working with him. It was really fun. And I think the more and more that you work with him in that high pressure, high stress environment, you get to see a lot of different sides of him. People will say that he's intimidating, and he's not. He's a teddy bear. And he has just a genuine passion and fire for having the band reach excellence, reach its full potential, and doesn't want that to be compromised. And that's a really great thing to have, really great quality to have in a staff member. And his attention to detail, and a lot of the work, he puts in a ton of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize. And so being with him through a lot of that is really inspiring and really, really great to know that somebody is there constantly and willing to do whatever needs to be done. Getting a big hug from him on my last day in the band building was really cool. Just to kind of look back with him at, he was my first point of contact in the band, and to look back at how things had progressed was really neat. Mr. Costin, being with him as he transitioned was really cool. So I was transitioning to new leadership as he was transitioning to new leadership, and that was fun. It gave me an opportunity, I think, to get perspectives that I hadn't heard before. So obviously through the audition process and through working with Dr. Pius and Dr. Cook, you kind of get a sense of their perspectives and what they're looking for and what maybe you need to work on in their eyes. And then Mr. Costin comes in and brings a whole different set of eyes to the table. He's a really fun guy, really enjoys working with people and enjoys his job, every part of it, and that's really infectious when you're around it. And having him come in and say, well, hey, like when I was looking for drum majors in my high school, like these are some of the things that I look for, and these are some of the things that I think you can work on, and just getting that different set of eyes was really good. He brings a whole different set of expertise, of attention to detail to the band. Again, it's a lot of things that people don't realize, I think, but it's been a lot of fun to work with him as he's kind of grown into his role. And then Itzir is, what a guy. I ran into him 2 days ago at a matinee showing of Godzilla. And didn't see him. I actually had to walk back into the theater because I lost my keys, and Michael Itzir was standing there in front of me. We had a nice long talk about the 4 years here, about the future, about the incredible things that he's doing at North Texas. And I don't think that anyone, myself included, appreciates the caliber of musicians that we have on the staff and have had on the staff. All 4 of them. But hearing the incredible things that Mr. Itzir is doing, the incredible programs that he's being a part of, and he's going to be awesome wherever he lands. He ends up teaching or playing or whatever. But while Mr. Cook was the first point of contact for me, Itzir was the first email that I ever got from the band. And so it was nice kind of seeing him to cap off everything. So he's another one, all 4 of them again. Love to talk to you about things totally external to band, which is great because a lot of people have a lot of things going on external to band here. Band is not the one thing that people do. And so it's really awesome to have people who care genuinely about you, people, Mr. Cook, who remembers every detail about your life that he's ever read, that he knows my mom and dad's name and my sister's name, and that we have a cat, and that, I did this or that in high school. And all these people that you can go to, and that if you sit down in any of their offices and talk to them about something besides band, they're genuinely interested in hearing and listening and helping to whatever extent they can, because they just like knowing you and being a part of your experience.